we're back. I thought that the situation had abated, but it didn't, and that's par for the course. Amy went to ground for about 3 or 4 days, maybe 5. Nobody knew where she was at. She does this periodically, so what the hell. And she surfaced again today, and Robert sent me a couple of screenshots of what she was doing. And I'd go all the way to the bottom. You'll notice, observe the bottom of this picture, and you'll clearly see my name and Robert Beatty's name in there. And she's advocating for us to go to prison for the rest of our lives and all this kind of stuff. Okay. I talked to a man in Houston yesterday. I won't reveal his name and I won't reveal his profession, but I will say he's a very honorable man, very professional man. And Amy tried to blackmail him some years ago. He was helping her with her so-called case, and she didn't get what she wanted, and she began to scream and thrash about. And she told him basically, if you don't do what I say, I'm going to tell your wife that you tried to have an affair with me. Okay. Then she tried to extort money from him, whereupon he said, I am going to the district attorney, who is a friend of mine, and I'm going to tell him what you just said. The phone went dead, and he never heard from her again. Amy Charron is a criminal. She makes her money by extorting, lying, stealing, and threatening. She is a cyberbully. She does exactly what she says is being done to her. She comes up with fantastic scenarios. For instance, this one gentleman told me, she told him that men broke into her place, told her to sit down and be still, whereupon they erased all of her YouTube, all of her valuable evidence, everything, and then they left laughing, saying, what are you going to do about it? Okay. As you know, I stole $250,000 in valuable items and valuable federal evidence from her, according to her. Her mother also stole from her. The woman in Michigan also stole from her, and at least one person or two in Houston has stolen from her. She has been robbed more than Wells Fargo. Okay, these are all lies. Everything Amy Charron says is probably either an outright lie or it is some kind of perversion of the truth. Okay, and that is the truth. Okay. Also, the little gentleman Justin. These people were contacted by Justin's mother because he was probably over 18. He might or might not have been, but the mother was concerned that Amy was, because Justin admitted that she was having sex with him, and she was extorting him too for whatever she could get out of him, including threatening him, if you ever leave, and I'll do this and I'll do that. And he finally got away. People that know of this gentleman, when he unloaded what he knew, know that I'm not lying. I'm telling the truth. Oh, and as usual, if you notice, I didn't put up a whack-a-mole for some time. She didn't mention my name. When Amy Charron mentions my name, I will do a rebuttal every single time. Okay? That's my right. When somebody accuses you of things, you have the right to come back and say publicly, that is not true, and here's why it's not true. Okay? And that's exactly what I'm doing here. But you've got to, if I were thin-skinned, this stuff would bother me. But you've got to understand, when you look at somebody writing publicly on Google, Facebook, wherever she's at, okay, and they're actively saying they're going to put a lot of people in prison. The FBI is, oh, by the way, the FBI is now crooked, and they're in collusion with the Houston Police Department to shut down Amy Charron. It's right there in her little notes, okay? The marshals were telling her, oh, yes, you've got a real good case because you're very smart, okay? No. That chicken scratch amendment that she submitted, the one that I had to decipher for everybody letter by letter, just didn't pass the muster. If you read the opinion of the judge and everything, it very clearly says she did not address any new issues. Here's the way an appeal works, folks. Erasmus Leroy Johnson goes to jail for 30 years for raping a 13-year-old girl. Okay? He's been in there 20 years, and he's filed appeal after appeal that didn't go anywhere. And all of a sudden, something new, something called DNA comes up. And they got this little rape kit from years ago and everything. So they go in the old cell, and they scratch Erasmus's cheek on the inside, and they take what they got on the rape kit, and they run they run the evidence, and the rape kit says that little Lulu Bell was raped by a Chinese man. That's an appeal. And still it has to go through court. Still has to go before a judge who looks at it and hopefully will say, yeah, Rasmus, man, we're sorry. We might owe you money, and turns him loose. Okay? Amy did not have such an appeal. She produced no new evidence, and all she did was whine and beg and plea about many crimes committed against her. She couldn't show up in court on time because of all the crimes that were committed, and her very expensive custom Beamer automobile was stolen by the police and everything. When I have shown right here on this channel, out of her own voice, in a thing called Poof, look it up. She admits, with Justin standing right there, my car, it went poof. She admitted the motor blew up. And obviously that's where it was stranded, I guess, in a Walmart parking lot. And finally it just got towed. And she couldn't pay the storage fees and everything, so then it just got sold. Okay? The motor was probably shot. Probably wasn't worth nothing when they towed it. They just used it for scrap metal. She lies. She doesn't keep her facts together. She has, from what I learned yesterday from the contacts, the very, very famous website, the one that I owned, that I had Ramona Mion just turn off, okay? Well, she coerced and blackmailed Ramona till finally Ramona put it back up on another site or whatever. That's why it popped back up. Because Ramona and her husband is ill. He's had a condition for years. And it's not something like Amy. He's got a real condition. Ramona's a hippie. She's from Texas, and she's living out in California. She loves the mobile life. She loves to hang out under the Golden Gate Bridge. She loves to walk in the park. She loves to write, but she's just a hippie. And when you go after a girl like that with a sledgehammer, she doesn't tend to fight back. She tends to give in, back away. Okay, I got you. Here, your sight's back up. Please leave me alone. She had blackmailed and coerced and extorted Ramona to the end, to her wit's end. That's how I got involved. That's why I bought the site. That's why I shut it down. And I didn't destroy her valuable evidence. I just threw a switch on an existing website with images of the nonsense that she had put up. Okay? And something I told them yesterday was, you look at that horrible picture of Markel, where she's all drawn and looks bad and all this kind of stuff. Well, that's at the end of her time with her mother. That's how she arrived at the McDonald's house. Okay? Now she skis in Aspen, Colorado. Okay? Now that's what she does. And I found out from sources that there is a distinct possibility that some of the charges against Amy were of a molestation nature, including pinching a child on the buttocks, which is what alarmed the doctors at the ER that night. Now these are facts, or as close to facts as I can uncover. But she will continue. Every time she mentions my name, we're going to come right back here. We're going to sit down and we're going to talk about it. Okay? Amy is under investigation by 2 police departments. She has embarrassed herself before the FBI. The FBI is not investigating me, the butcher shop, or anybody associated with me. Everything is clear. Okay? Those are also facts. These facts cannot be denied. That is it. Okay, so we will wait for Miss Amy's response, because I know she's going to be watching this. And all she has to do is leave me alone. I've got other problems. I've got problems, family problems right now concerning my little girl that are much more important than what this schizophrenic maniac has to say out there in the swamps of Houston. Adios, amigos.
It's like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're gonna get until you open it.